Welcome back to Finn versus History. I'm here with Horatio Gould.
Hello.
And Tom Gilbey's with us.
Look at that.
An actual expert.
It was a diversity outreach program.
Yes.
Thought we'd want to across the divide.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that we had a lot of different voices, diverse set of voices in this podcast. You know, I thought it was getting too stuffy.
Yes, it was. There were too many privately educated white men on the show. And so we've got one who is so posh they could be homosexual.
I think that's as far as we'll go.
Yeah, that's about as far as we'll push it. Tom, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, I think.
Tom, you're one of
pleasure.
our most popular guests on Finn vs. the Internet. The first guest to do the double on the history.
First guest to look comfortable in a suit. First guest to not attach you with a pair of smart shoes and not just bring his trainers.
Yes, you don't look like you're showing up to a court appearance for once. You look like you're...
Maybe the judge.
Yeah, you're the judge of wine.
The KC.
Tom, you're the wine expert.
Yeah.
We've been talking about wine.
Yeah.
Now, how are you on wine history?
Try me.
Yeah. So we've done the ancient world.
Yeah.
We've done Dionysus, orgiastic filth.
Yeah.
We charted its transformation through people tearing goats apart, fucking each other in the forest, to Christians having a sip with a biscuit.
Which is what it's all about. We have the Christians and their biscuits to thank.
Well,
do
you think?
A lot of it we do.
Right.
Yeah, the good stuff.
How come?
So where are we going to start?
Well, to fill us in. I mean, we're going to just go with the early modern period, but please,
in,
any information, please stuff
Should we
us.
go-
Please stuff us. Stuff our asses full of knowledge, would you, Tom?
Should we go?
Take us back to the old school
Put a lemon
days.
in my arse, Tom, and put me in the oven.
Shove a cork up my arse and tell me about wine, would you?
Okay. And I'll put you in Christopher Columbus's boat, and
Please.
we'll go across the
Please.
pond.
Yes, please do.
Okay, so it all really, I think it's an interesting point is when the Spanish went over and had a little crack at the Caribbean.
You can call it that.
And
Is
started,
that what they call it?
Let's have a crack.
Yeah, crack of the whip.
Yeah. And so they started planting vines in the Caribbean, which is a positively shit place to plant vines.
Yes.
Right.
Because they needed wine.
These are tonic wine vines.
Yeah, tonic wine.
Yeah.
Took a while out.
Yeah, get there in the end. Don't worry, it just takes a while.
Sure, sorry, of course.
So for the mass, for the Catholic mass, they need wine.
Yes.
Right.
So, and they couldn't import enough Spanish wine, so they'd plant their own in the Caribbean.
Because is wine surviving that journey in this day and age? No, it's going off.
It's going off.
And why?
It was all off even before it did the journey. A lot of it then,
Right.
Because it's Spanish wine. Is that your opinion of Spanish wine? Is it all off?
So it's buckfast is what the early wines were, sort of fortified wine.
Yeah, but that's a very special wine for the Scots, not the Spanish.
Yeah, that's Scottish. Yeah. That's my national
Well, it's
drink.
made in Devon by monks.
Is it?
But drunk by Scots.
Yeah.
Monks still make buckfast.
Monks still make buckfast.
So a lot of
And
alcoholic drinks are like abbeys and monk clergies. They kind of built.
Yes, yeah, and the Scottish drink a lot of it.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. To be fair.
So the Spanish attempt to take wine over. A cork's around this. What does a wine bottle look like in 1492?
Yeah.
Really wonky.
Yeah.
Really wonky, and corks are not around.
So what are they using?
So they're using glass, but like all sorts of bits of glass. It's all generally
And what's going in the top?
all sorts of things.
So it's sort of
other
like
than
a
corks.
rum bottle. It's kind of whatever you've got in your house.
Yeah, you'll see images of really wonky little bottles.
Yeah.
So they plant vines in the Caribbean,
Right.
and then they go up to South America.
Okay.
And they suddenly find that actually the vines can grow in South America.
Sure.
So their first bit of actually doing a decent wine is the late 16th century in Mexico.
So the decent wine, fine. It's New World. That's interesting.
No, it's not decent yet. It's really
okay,
shit.
but the beginnings of what would end up being decent wine is happening here. These kind of early vineyards.
Yeah.
But what's happening before? Because obviously we talked about the ancient history of wine. You got Georgian wine. You got Roman Greek wine. Is this are these vineyards or are these just like a massive barrel that you're sitting on grapes?
These are vineyards, but all the wine's drunk locally because there's no transportation around.
Right.
there.
Okay.
So really so it doesn't need to last long.
Sure.
It's made, drunk, done.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in Mexico and
Pump and dump.
It's the beginning of the and also so about the wine bottle. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a bit of fact that I like to bring out. 'Cause I think it's interesting. But I hope it's true.
Rachel thinks it's interesting.
Is the modern wine bottle that size because it's the how far a glass blower can blow? It's like the depth that a wine blower can.
No, it's how far up your arse it is to the male G spot, isn't it?
Yeah, a glass blower. How much he likes up his arse. Yeah, that'll do.
That bit, just that bit.
I think most of that's true, but the bit that's really true is the blowing.
Right,
it's the glass blowing.
So go on, tell us. So why is it that?
So it's how far you can blow glass. 'Cause it was all done manually.
So that's why it's like that.
So then he runs out of breath, and that's the stem of the bottle.
Yeah. And then we work out with what's the punt like, and will it fit up anyone's bum?
Exactly.
I think that came later.
And then it's ribbed for my pleasure, and that's a different story.
They're rosés. They're nice. They're ribbed.
Lovely stuff. Rosé drinkers. Yeah.
So we're in Mexico, and we've got these beginnings of plantations with a slightly better climate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is this kind of, are there Aztecs around? Is this around the side?
Well, they're being kind of stamped out.
We're getting rid of them to plant vines.
Yeah.
Yes. And for religious
conversion
communion.
And the missionaries. It's for the missionaries.
Yeah.
And wherever they go, they plant a vineyard.
Right.
And they plant it with generally anything that they can ferment into an alcoholic drink.
So not just grapes.
No, it is grapes, but all sorts of, nothing like that we'd know grapes as today's. All sorts of weird and wonderful stuff.
Right.
Okay.
But it is. We'll get to it later. It's European grape varieties that they're planting there.
Because Mexico doesn't have any of its own grape varieties?
No, it did have its own grape varieties.
Yeah.
But they knew about the European Spanish grape varieties that they planted there. So they wanted to replicate what they had at home.
And these are still shit wines.
You would think they're shit wines.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. But they're basically moving up through the Americas, planting European grape varieties.
At these different, and you're moving up and down, it's different climates. So there's...
Yeah, so the Caribbean is way too warm to be making anything decent.
Yeah.
But as we hit Mexico, we're beginning to get a climate that can make... In fact, I do have a Mexican wine that if you'd like...
Well, it's been 7 minutes. I recken we should crack a bottle.
Let's pop it open, I reckon. If we're at Mexico, let's have a... Do you want to open it now for it?
You do the honours.
Shall I do that?
It's like an unboxing. This is posh unboxing, really.
Yeah, it is.
So it's quite difficult to find Mexican wine in the UK now.
Yeah, I've not really heard of...
because it's generally shit.
Right. Okay.
But I managed to find one. So I'm going to pour you a glass of Petite Sirah by the biggest wine producer in Mexico.
Okay.
I haven't tried it yet.
So is this because seeing as you're sort of starting this modern history of wine in Mexico almost, does it have a long tradition then? Does this wine producer have a long history?
This wine producer is early 20th century.
Right.
So not really, but Mexico does.
Yeah.
But from Mexico,
they
went to Peru, to Chile, to Argentina. Fine. So all of these areas, and particularly Argentina, are now making amazing wine.
But what's interesting is that it feels like the snobbery is with the around New World wine. Certainly there was for a beer. But from the way you're discussing it, it seems like New World's been producing it, kind of modern wines, as long as Old World.
I'd class Mexico as New World.
I'm saying like seeing as we started the history in Mexico, it's interesting that New World wines have been around that long.
Yeah, they have. So here we go. This is a French grape variety, funnily enough, Petite Sirah, and these guys were actually founded by an Italian family.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Look at this.
It's a podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, it's a bit of class, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, well, it smells like I'm getting wine immediately.
Oh yeah, that's wine. That's wine. I can verify that's wine.
So Petite Sirah is a really dark, spicy grape.
So sorry, I'm getting a fat man asleep on a chair, drinking incredibly sugary Coke.
Yeah, I'm getting an afternoon nap.
I'm sort of hearing like mariachi bands, the Day of the Dead,
invasion on the southern border.
Wetback. Is it a wetback? It smells like a wetback. Very hard workers, I can already tell, made this wine.
Mexico is one of the most obese countries in the world.
Yes, I can believe that. Is this because this is pure cane syrup? What's in here?
I think so. You had Yarritos. It's nearly pure sugar.
That's an absolutely lovely wine.
This episode of Fizz History is sponsored by Surfshark, the premier provider of VPNs. Do you know what a VPN is?
I don't. But I tell you what, I do have problems when I want to watch horrible, disgusting, filthy videos.
Yeah. Why?
Why? Because I'm terrified that my wife and everyone in the world will see what I'm doing.
You're in luck, because Surfshark provides brilliant, easy-to-use VPNs. That means that you can basically have your location, your IP location, from anywhere in the world, right?
So I could run away from my wife and children to Mexico, Bahamas, and I could watch horrible stuff.
Or you can just change your IP so it thinks you're in the Bahamas, and you can watch it at home.
So I still have to stay at home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I use a VPN.
Well, brilliant.
I use a VPN sometimes when I want to watch videos in a foreign country.
Well, that's great. Because the worst thing about traveling is foreign TV and foreign people.
Yeah.
And being,
the list goes on.
And being abroad and the food and the weather. It turns out you can't have a holiday from your life. You're still you. You're just abroad.
That sombrero doesn't change anything.
No. So why don't you secure your digital life with a Surfshark VPN?
Yeah.
It's a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. Yeah. Go to surfshark.com/FVH. That's surfshark.com/FVH. Foxtrot, Vagina, Hotel.
You stayed at the Foxtrot Vagina Hotel.
I've stayed at the Foxtrot. That's where we were on our honeymoon.
Yeah, dirty sheets though.
Click the link below or use the code FVH. That's Foxtrot Vag Hotel. For 4 extra months of Surfshark. Don't let online threats catch you off guard.
Yeah.
Keep your data safe and see you next time.
Anyway, let's get back to the bloody episode, shall we?
Can we please get back to some history?
Isn't it a banger?
I'd expect nothing less from...
so juicy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really rich.
Yeah.
That's what I've got.
Yeah. It's full-bodied, like a big fat Mexican.
Yeah.
It's full of body.
It's got fat batty. This has got fat.
I do think that the language around wine needs to be changed. Yeah. So I'd say this is a smoking hot, fat-battied Mexican.
I think it's very flexible, the language around wine. If you say it with a posh accent, you can you could probably say whatever you want.
I quite like that tasting note.
I think if you've got red trousers on, you can basically say this is a fat batty Mexican of a glass of wine.
Fat batty,
stout.
Short
necked.
Yeah, no nonsense. Hoofs upfield.
Yeah.
Tall man up top.
Sam Allardyce team.
Yeah,
it's a Sam Allardyce red wine.
I'm getting one-word answers from this guy.
This is a pint. This is the pint of red wine that Sam Allardyce drank.
No hablo inglés.
As he got fired by the. So, it's Cancun. Bonnie Blue's there. She's smashing through freshers.
I can
taste.
She's hitting freshers for 6.
I can taste the stale cum around the cheap motels of Cancun. Yeah. So tell it. So Mexican wine.
What is there left to tell?
So Mexican wine starts. Is it the first wine in the Americas? Then Mexican wine.
Really? Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right,
so and here we are just south of California.
Yeah.
But we don't see it much over here because.
So are we in Baja, California?
We're exactly there.
Yeah.
We're in Baja, California.
Cherry. There's cherry,
There's
right?
cherry and a little. So you're being serious now, Harry?
Yeah, I'm getting cherry. Yeah.
Bonnie Blue is popping cherries. That's what I'm getting in Cancun.
And really nice creamy texture. It's really juicy.
It is really.
Yeah. So it's warm, so you don't have too much tannin. You know that like dry feeling you get around your mouth,
and it's like thick and soily. Is that what tannin is?
Yeah. It's when you have a tea bag in your with no milk too long, and it's makes you
fine.
It makes you want to do this.
Yeah, but this makes you want to do other things.
And then, what's these tram lines? That's meant to mean good wines, right? Is it not?
You know shit. This is exactly
because my dad.
Those are cum gutters. Those are
my dad is.
This is
basically my dad's very sort of insecure about his class, and the way that he's trying to make himself seem sophisticated is he's learned he's channeled some autism into wine autism, right? But he doesn't have any sense of smell and has really weak taste buds. So he doesn't really know at all what he's talking about.
He's been drinking whiskey for the last 50 years out of wine glasses. Bloody hell, this pack's a punch, this stuff.
And he's just learned all the things you should, but has no real tasting ability.
But I think most people, and you're very good on this, a £20 bottle of wine, really, if you're getting beyond that, you're just paying for the label, right?
Yeah.
How much should be excluding? We're excluding people with wine. That's what we should be doing.
Quite right. That's why I like the drink.
It's
not for everyone.
It's just about I'm better than you. You don't understand this. It's all the same. But
this hasn't really come in yet. We'll get to why this comes in.
Yeah, we're on history. How much do you think that costs?
In pesos or in a day's work, in an
5
avocado
shandies,
field?
I reckon.
Yeah. I reckon 3 naps, which is a day and a half's work.
It tastes strong.
Yeah.
So that's your tram lines. That's the amount of alcohol or sugar in the glass. So if it's quite rich in what they call glycerol, then you get big tram lines.
And that's good?
That's good. Well, if you like a nice punchy wine, that's good. That means it's
wife beater wine. If you like a sort of domestic abuse wine.
Well, we'll get to Australia in shortly. But so the Spanish plant...
I would say, how much are you saying this is worth?
I'd say it's between £20 and £30.
I was thinking 15, but go on.
You're on the money. Yeah.
Wow.
It's 14 quid.
Wow.
Right.
It's good value. It's
very good. Mexican wine.
Mexican.
So the Spanish plant vineyards, and quite quickly, when would you say it gets good, this Mexican wine?
It's roughly when all wine gets good, which is when we invent corks and proper bottles and proper storage and proper fermenting and growing.
Because we were chatting about in the
techniques.
ancient world, obviously it's probably quite low ABV back then.
Yes.
Right. So what kind of percentage of wine are they drinking?
Sort of under 10.
Really?
Yeah,
okay. So it's more like it's more like sort of special brew.
13 and a half.
But also with a lot with wine, 'cause I imagine it was similar with the way that like medieval kids would drink beer at school.
It's safer than water.
It's safer than water, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot
That's
of...
exactly right,
Yeah.
Horatio. That's exactly right. They plant vines, and it's part of their diet.
Yeah.
So they're all drinking.
Yeah. Because you have
It must
to.
have been
'cause
such a fun time.
Yeah.
I reckon there's quite a lot... Well, we actually studied that period. It actually seemed pretty fucking tough.
What, the Aztecs? Yeah, no. I wouldn't like to have been around then.
So it moves from Mexico and around the New World. And
Around
then-
South America.
Yeah.
Before it goes up the west coast.
To Baja.
No,
California.
to California in Rio.
Right.
And when
Real
does it go
terms.
up to? When does it sort of cross the border into California as we know it?
I think it's about 17th century, but
Okay.
a massive thing happens in the 19th century, which is phylloxera, which is a disease that killed all of the vines.
Yeah.
We export it over to America, and it's this little bug that eats the roots of European vines.
So it's what smallpox did to the Aztecs.
Yes.
We did it again to our
Which
own
is
wine.
the bigger tragedy
Yeah.
is that what happened to an entire people, millions wiped out, happened to French vineyards.
Which the baby out with
happened,
the
and
bathwater.
their
Yeah.
vineyards, and their vineyards. So all European vines throughout
It's throwing
the
the
world,
bathwater out with the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all the European vines throughout the world were decimated.
Really?
For what period? Because
In what, like a summer? In how? In how?
In a period of years, sort of 1865, I think it was.
Right.
I'm just going to get geeky here. European
Please.
vines are called Vitis vinifera.
right,
Okay,
I think
American
I've had
vine-
that.
Yeah. Had that at Freshers Week, I think. I got a bad case of Vitis Phylloxera.
And American vines are called Vitis lambrusca. So basically, everything that was there before the Spanish went over to America was Vitis lambrusca,
Right.
sitting happily in America, resistant to phylloxera, having a nice time, but making shit wine.
Sure.
Right.
Every vine now, with
Yeah.
with like tiny exceptions in places like Peru,
Uh-huh.
are a Vitis vinifera vine grafted onto the roots of a Vitis lambrusca vine. So if you can get your mind around that,
Yeah.
Why do they do that to stop this?
yeah, because the little mites can't eat the roots of the American
And they're
rootstock.
not going to jump over it because they can't do that.
Yeah.
They can't
They
do
can't get
that.
over the walls.
So you know, if you go through a vineyard now, you'll see every vine has a little kink at the bottom. That is where the grafting has happened. So it's throughout the whole of Europe. You'll see
It's the Americas have better roots or like the bottom bit,
they're good on roots.
and then the actual grape
We're good on
things
top.
you want it on the top.
So, yeah,
So I asked my dad to ask some questions for you, and one of them was, "Do you think what was this called?
phylloxera.
What do you think was more damaging to the French than the Napoleonic Wars or phylloxera?
I think it's probably phylloxera.
Really?
I mean, it really did fucking properly good.
Because they were big wine exporters.
That's the whole. I mean,
Economy.
the
I
economy
reckon he just
depended on
talks to himself when he's having dinner.
it. And then went to.
Because there's no one listening.
Then they went to Algeria and started planting vines down there.
Right.
All right.
And there's a whole bit of history there about Algeria and wine production and
But phylloxera fucks all European wines pretty much.
yeah. So it fucks America and then Europe.
This is the dark ages for wine, basically.
Yeah, this is really, really bad.
So
Right.
when do corks and proper bottles come in?
Corks and proper bottles, I think, in the early 20th century. But
Really.
we have a look
Is it
at
not
this?
around when Pasteur? So I think
Yes.
to
You tell
gazump
me.
you, I think that what happens is that Napoleon III, Emperor of France, he's a big wino.
Mm.
So he's the one
he
that
loves
starts
it.
the classification of the Bordeaux wines, which we'll get to. But
Of all
also,
French wines.
yeah, he's the one that gets Pasteur, who invents pasteurization,
Yeah.
onto work out how to make wine better. I think so. I think it's probably in the 1850s.
He
Yeah.
also,
When
I
the
think,
corks
did he
were invented.
commission Haussmann to rebuild Paris into what we know it today?
A toilet. Could you make this toilet more like a toilet?
Let's make this a giant latrine.
Have you ever had prison wine, Tom? We were talking about prison wine in the last episode.
I have actually had a prison wine. Yeah,
Yeah?
I did a blind tasting the other day of a load of wines, and one of them was made by a convict.
In a toilet.
In a toilet.
Wow.
Yeah.
And could you taste which one it was?
Oh, funnily enough, I could.
Yeah.
If you were in prison, do you think that your love of wine would drive you to make toilet wine?
You'd do very
I
well.
mean, you would be. I think, and depending on what you like,
you would be in high demand in prison, but not really for your wine tasting skills. Yeah, you'd do very well in prison, or badly. So let's move to France.
Yeah.
So Spain has planted vines in America.
Yeah.
And so in the kind of 1600s, 1700s, am I right in thinking this is where France starts to give wine the sort of elitism that maybe it's still tainted with today?
I think before then. I think it's sort of the 12th century.
Okay.
Okay.
100 Years' War sort of time.
Exactly. When Eleanor of Aquitaine marries...
some cunt, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
We skip through.
And we have Bordeaux. The English get Bordeaux.
Yes, Eleanor of Aquitaine. She marries an English king, or like
she marries an English king. Should we just get that
yeah,
and then we can do
that's
Charlie,
kind of things. That's like a brilliant time to be looking up.
Do your job. So brilliant time to be doing your job.
Yeah.
3 people going on. What's that?
What's her name?
Eleanor of Aquitaine.
We're saying it into your earphones.
Henry
the Second.
Henry
II, yeah.
Is
it's
it
Henry II?
Yeah.
So to explain, in the medieval period, England are constantly warring France, and we're at various times bits of France are owned by the English.
Yes,
right.
Particularly Bordeaux.
Yeah.
So we and because there's no transportation there, there's no railways, there's nothing else. But Bordeaux is perfectly located to ship a load over to England in barrels, and we were doing
like a
something
port. Has it got a seaside?
It's got amazing ports.
Right.
And so we would ship over in barrels because you don't need bottles. You shove the barrels on a boat. Over we come. So we basically
that was the beginning of English wine.
Got knocked up on Bordeaux red wine.
And so why does that give?
Yeah.
How does the stuffiness come into?
Well,
because it's the only aristocrats.
The only people who can afford it are the posh dudes. Who
so in the posh cunts in the medieval period are drinking claret from English-owned Bordeaux.
Yes.
In the sort of 12th century,
which is marvellous.
And then moving onwards. So when does France start to almost give itself the title of like the gatekeeper of wine?
The gatekeeper of wine.
The gay.
Well, so
they see themselves as like the home of wine.
When do they become the fruitiest nation on earth? When does it become?
Why do I hate them so much? Why do they smell?
We're the biggest consumers of wine. The England.
Yeah.
The Brits are the biggest consumers.
How
of
long
wine.
for this whole
until
period?
Recently?
Right.
Really, we've got a good track record of boozing a lot of wine.
Sure.
And generally, it's Bordeaux.
Okay.
And drunk by our aristocratic society, and we just ship it over and drink it. So we've given France the title of greatest wine country in the world.
Because we can't really produce good wine, but we drink so much of it that we...
So would you say that we essentially made France a winemaking factory for us to enjoy?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very happy with that relationship.
Yeah.
That's how I see France is our factory.
Yes.
For how we get pissed.
Yes.
But it's also like we'll go skiing there and we'll go to the beach there, so we should really own it.
Yes, totally.
I think we're all agreed. This is why we need to get diverse voices on.
Yes,
we
would learn about.
It's so nice to have someone who has different opinions, then we can maybe come to sort of consensus. That we should own France.
The diversity of opinion that we should own France.
I do think there's something interesting about having a single issue party. The Invade France party.
Yeah.
That's just one issue. Let's reignite those wars,
Yeah, I think so.
It'll come left field. No one will expect it.
I think, look at Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Gaza, all that.
I'll tell you
Let's
what,
get into France.
I'm not ready for it.
They're never ready for it. And that's the great thing about invading France, is that they're always pissed, asleep, striking.
I think that's an easy border to invade. They will not be prepared.
It's a tap-in. France is a fucking tap-in. D-Day Mark II, they're done. They're absolutely done. They would not expect it. And even if they did expect it, they wouldn't turn up. Let's invade France and make everywhere a wine factory.
So the climate's super important to making good wine.
Yes.
So France, I guess part of the reason why is because it has the perfect climate to make great wine.
The air smells so bad that it imbues the grapes with a sense of like jeopardy.
A lot of what drives a lot of French cuisine and culture is they have massive noses.
Yep.
And I think it means that they also have a lot of smells and they have a real fetishization for bad smell. I think the reason why French cheese is so good is because a Frenchman would be brought a cheese and go, not stinky enough.
Yeah.
Send it back till it's stinky. It will have a red wine, not stinky enough. Everything is about huffing it with a big French nose.
Yeah.
You know, take it, come back when
Or
it is
maybe they
stinky.
can't smell like your dad. And so in order to register anything, they need something that fucking honks.
Not stinky enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Not stinky enough.
Take this woman back. She doesn't
She
smell
is
bad
not
enough.
stinky enough for me.
She hasn't got lice in her armpits. I don't want to marry her.
Come back when you're
So when
stinky.
does the French kind of start to, is it like Louis the whoever the fuck? I mean, like at what point does Versailles start codifying, ritualizing wine amongst
kind of what
society?
England did with cricket, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's what we do in sport,
Yeah,
but
the
they're
French
doing
do
it
with-
with wine.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, these are the rules. Only a couple of people actually know about it. If you don't, you're an idiot.
Yeah, when does that all start?
So really, before transportation, like railways and everything, all the wine's being drunk locally. So
Yeah.
the guys in the Loire would drink the Loire wine, etc. etc. We are pretty much alone in shipping stuff out for us straight out of Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then the Dutch come in and have a crack and think that this is because they're quite good at trading as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they think that this might be nice to add to their spices and
Sure.
herbs and all this sort of stuff, and start importing wines from Burgundy, from Alsace, from the Loire.
And this is what, 1600s?
Yeah, and then they have a little fight with us about Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
then-
There's the English
There's
stuff.
not actually. I don't know. There's a physical fight, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of sort of
A trade war.
trade stuff
Yeah.
going on, and they back off a little bit from there and go, okay, you've had your mitts in Bordeaux for long enough.
Yeah.
Keep it, and we'll deal with the rest.
And in your family, you have a link to the English trade of wine.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So my family was one of the first families to buy. In fact, they were the first English family to buy a chateau in Bordeaux,
Right.
in 1875.
Right. That's
And it's
amazing.
right. It's at the north of there's an area called the Medoc, which is
Yeah.
a triangle
Yeah.
above Bordeaux,
Yeah.
and the wine gets better and better and better until it gets shit.
Yeah.
We bought the one where it's shit.
I think there should be a
Literally-
special on Gilbey for Comic Relief.
The point where it gets
Donate
shit.
Yeah,
now.
just get shit.
£3 for
Yeah.
just £3 a month.
Yeah,
Well, that's why I ran that marathon.
Exactly. But they shipped in all this wine in barrel before
Right.
we had railways.
Yeah.
And bottled it in what's now the Camden Roundhouse.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
It's a bit nuts.
the reason why it's shaped like a barrel.
Could be because of that.
Just back on the climate thing though.
Yeah.
So climate's such an important thing, and
Is
I
that,
guess
is that it?
Is that your chateau, Tom?
Ludo?
Yeah, that's it. That's not actually my chateau because it's now
Oh, okay.
some fuckers fucked it all up,
Yeah.
and so I don't
really
have that
pink.
anymore.
Well,
It's
that's
Of
beautifully
course,
pink.
of course it's pink. Of course Gilbey's Chateau's
It's
pink.
beautifully pink. It's like your shirts, Jack.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
beautiful.
Of course.
But the climate shifts, and the reason why English wine is now coming onto the scene is because of climate change. Is it
Now?
not? Yes.
Yeah,
It's
because
because
we-
the south of England is now the same climate as medieval France.
Totally, but we cannot make a good red wine
Yet.
yet.
But if we keep CO2 emissions high
Yeah. Yeah.
and the ozone layer,
Let's
ozone layer
pin Greta down
gets
and
destroyed.
fart into her face long enough. Sorry, what were you saying?
I forgot what we were talking
I don't know what
about.
we were talking about. That was just my kink.
Yes.
If we do that, then eventually we'll be able to make red wine, which will be
Like they do
Sussex
in
and
Mexico.
Kent,
Well,
right?
and Hampshire, and our best still wine,
Yeah.
white wine, comes from just outside Chelmsford.
Right. Okay.
Crazy. Essex. Essex wine. It's crazy.
Well, I heard that Sussex, where I'm from, has recently won a thing that they are now like a brand. What's it called? In the way that Bordeaux, that
No,
is
so-
like a
AOC
brand.
or something. It's
Yeah,
like-
something like that.
Yeah, so there's a dude down in the south
Yeah.
of Sussex who decided that Sussex would be. He got a few together and decided that Sussex would be an appellation, a bit like Châteauneuf-du-Pape.
So it's like a
But what he
glass of
forgot-
Sussex.
Yeah, but what he forgot is that no one actually gives a fuck. Whereas it's Châteauneuf-du-Pape, they do give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah, so we should get to,
Right.
I suppose, when the French start, the certain areas of France, certain vineyards, certain
Yeah.
parts of certain vineyards
Yes.
start becoming favoured by popes and
Yeah.
kings,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
Which is Châteauneuf-du-Pape is a papal
Exactly.
favourite. Châteauneuf-du-Pape is the first.
The first
Yeah.
appellation contrôlé wine in France.
yeah,
Okay.
and this appellation control. You must remember that our listeners are incredibly thick and fat,
Yeah.
Ugly
Yeah.
as well.
ugly, smelly.
Sorry.
Are they French?
Many of them will be French. Yeah, they listen to it just sort of like. They're being fed liquid food.
Yeah.
Not posh liquid food.
They're
Like
drinking their box wine along.
This is our lunch. Yeah. Because we're of a certain class. But no, they'll be drinking sort of gruel through a pipe.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, and it's good for them.
Yeah.
But so France starts to kind of very quickly, as opposed to other countries, codify, and it just becomes stuffy. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to take the thick listeners from, this orgy of like partying and ecstasy that is the Dionysian cult, to when does it become this sort of gate kept thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so when phylloxera hits, that bug that we're telling you about, the whole of France panics and thinks, what the hell are we going to do? It's like COVID, but for vines.
Yeah.
And so they go to Algeria and other North African countries which can still grow wine and start producing, and Spain, because phylloxera hits France first and then goes south. And they're producing all of these. They're being paid in Algeria to produce loads of wine because the French need it, because they're hooked and they can't produce it themselves. So when they fix phylloxera, they work out that putting one on top of the other works. They've still got, they're beginning to grow again, and Algeria are shipping. Algeria was the third biggest wine producing country in the world.
Really?
They produced a lot of wine.
Right. Good stuff.
No.
Okay. Right.
But they were shipping, but big stuff.
Yeah.
It had lots of alcohol, because it's warm climate. So they were shipping it all back into France, and the French are going, hang on a second, we don't need you anymore, we can do our own.
Yeah.
But that's when they put in the Appellation Contrôlée system
to make sure they're not getting shit Algerian wine.
Yeah, we don't want Algerian Châteauneuf-du-Pape. We want Châteauneuf-du-Pape. The grapes have got to be grown there, made in this way, so that.
And this is 1870s, so this is around the time of Napoleon III, right? This is around.
Yeah, I think this is around the time that Pasteur invents pasteurization, the cork.
Yes.
Modern wine essentially is around the kind of late 19th century.
Yeah,
right.
But the appellation system really all happened in the 20th century, sort of all because it just started there and moved
because
everywhere.
1855 is the classification.
That's it.
The classification of that's Bordeaux, I think, and that's because Napoleon III they used to have world fairs.
Okay, yeah.
The Crystal Palace near
was
where
the
we
first
record
one,
this.
right?
That was
the Great Exhibition.
Great Exhibition, all that kind of stuff. It's the
which they still do. They have
Paralympic Games.
Look
what these fuckers can do. That's kind of what it is.
No, but now they have it in like Abu Dhabi and Dubai.
Those World Fair. Yeah, you're right. They are.
The expos are the same thing.
It's this huge carnival of soft power, basically. Yeah. And so Paris was holding one, and for this he goes, right, let's codify the wine, let's make it rigid.
Yeah.
I think it's in the Palace of Versailles, maybe in the century before this, where it starts to become the idea of table wine versus proper wine.
Totally.
So table wine is like off sour wine that they give to the smellier French people, peasants.
That's stinky.
And yeah, exactly. And
well, I think the rich people were smellier because it was a sign of prestige about how stinky can you be, how much stink can you afford to rub on yourself.
Yeah. So the honkiest of honk French people are drinking very good wine. And the people who are using a little bit of Lynx are getting table wine.
I think actually we're drinking the nice wine.
Right.
Okay, the French
really?
are drinking the honk. So we are having the...
I love that. I absolutely love that.
The stuff,
brilliant.
Yeah.
So what you're talking about, the 1855 classification, it's like a football league. So it's like the 5 chateaus that were the most expensive would be the Premier League. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so it was a way of pricing all of the wine for the Brits, really.
Because it's all marketing, really, all that stuff.
Of course it is,
yeah. And so much of wine originates here, that whole, the prestige of it, the kind of bullshit around it is all basically from this 1855 idea of like it's a marketing ploy for French wines.
Yeah.
But we are the best wine tasters of wine. The French don't know how to taste wine. They know how to grow it.
Can you expand on that? What do you mean by that?
Well, because
they're very smelly.
No, we've covered that, I think, extensively.
They don't work. You can invade them tomorrow. They wouldn't expect it.
England's always
hearing Finn heckling in the background.
England's always been a great market.
Their capital city is a toilet.
Sorry, Tom.
For wine.
Sorry,
and if you think about all the influential wine journos at the moment, they come from the biggest markets of wine. So it used to be all English wine critics. Now there's a few Americans and there's a few Chinese.
Chinese wine critics?
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Go on.
That's PC,
Give us an impression.
That's PC gone mad. What are they saying? There's not enough rice in it.
Do you want to try something else?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Let's talk about champagne.
I thought you might have
Are we
that.
at Champagne now?
We've got-
No, we were somewhere else.
I think we're at the Chateau, right?
Oh, have you bought a French
We're
one?
at the Fizz. That's not a champagne, though.
Oh, right. Wait, so this is where we're at.
This is where we're at.
Fine.
Right, come on. Carry on, Tom. Sorry.
Tom, I have a question. You know how like white wine should be in the fridge?
Yeah.
What did they do before fridges?
It was colder. They didn't need fridges.
Oh.
They put it in caves.
Yeah, they put
Really?
it in. So if you go to the cellars, underground cellars of any wine place underground, it will be 12 to 14 degrees, which is actually the right temperature to be serving any white wine
And keeping it?
and keeping it. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And when does white wine? Because this is all what we're talking about. Really, red wine is the thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Right, red wine is wine as
Yeah.
they would understand it.
And it's healthy for them.
Yeah,
It's got tannin, it's got phenols, all these good
1
things.
or 5 a
that-
day.
yeah.
It's 5 a day.
Yeah.
And when does white wine become a thing?
Pass. Right, should we do this?
Suffragettes,
this.
I imagine.
Yeah.
They're
I
on
imagine.
white wine.
Yeah, white wind.
They're running in front of horses.
Yeah.
So this is not a champagne. This is made in the Abbey in Limoux, which is arguably where sparkling wine was first ever produced.
Here we go.
Oh, okay.
Here we fucking go.
They could only make sparkling wine in Champagne because they couldn't get the grapes ripe enough to make a still wine,
Right. Okay.
which is why we in England make mostly sparkling wine because we can't quite do still wine yet.
But you
We're
think we
getting
will?
there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting there.
But what I'm very excited about is with climate change, surely France will become a desert soon and they'll fuck all their wines up.
They better not come over here. Stop the
Go back to sleep, Uncle.
Stop the
He's woken up for a second.
stop the toilet boats. Stop the portaloos coming over here.
The great stink.
The Great Stink, or France as I call it,
Right, good.
Brilliant.
crawling up the channel tunnel.
There you go.
Thank
There
you.
you go, Dad.
Yes.
So talk to us about when does Champagne? Now there's a myth around this guy Dom Perignon,
Cheers,
isn't
Tom.
there?
Thank you very
Cheers,
much.
thank you for this. What a lovely idea.
Yeah.
Who thought this would work? So talk about Dom Perignon and the sort of the myth around Champagne, because as you say, it's in retrospect that it's imbued with this sense of class, right?
Yeah. So everybody thinks that sparkling wine was made in Champagne, invented in Champagne. It's all a mistake, really, because sparkling wine was figured out because someone left a little bit of sugar in a wine and stopped it, and the fermentation happened. And
Similar
made
to
it
like
fizzy.
penicillin, but
It's like penicillin.
yeah.
But it was either made by a Brit called Christopher Perrett, I think it is.
This is brilliant.
Or-
a lot of great
We
stuff.
invented
Or-
Champagne.
No, sparkling wine. Actually,
Right.
the person who tried to make sparkling wine properly is, I think he's either a Brit called Christopher Perrett, or it's the monks down in the Saint-Hilaire Abbey
Fine.
in Limoux.
The French have got fuck all, haven't they?
No, it's
Well, I just feel like we don't get
Christopher
enough.
Merritt.
We don't
So
get
it's-
enough credit. Why do it
Next
feels
thing,
like
need
we're
loads
let
of
down?
credit.
next thing you'll tell us is the British invented striking. This is incredible. The French have got nothing.
So yeah, we either invented it or the monks in the Saint-Hilaire Abbey
Brilliant.
in Limoux.
Yeah.
Well, I'll drink to that.
And this is a bottle fermented sparkling wine. So what they do is start with a still wine, put a little bit of sugar in it and some yeast,
Yeah,
and then the yeast eats the sugar, gives us the carbon dioxide. Jobs are good.
brilliant.
And so Dom Perignon is now that's seen as now again, it's been marketed as the highest class. It's Moet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dom Perignon.
Yeah.
And so he was a monk, and he's credited with accidentally discovering Champagne, but that's bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah, but then the discovery of Champagne wasn't the discovery of what we see there, which is a clear, sparkling wine.
I'm getting a bit of a Scouse accent.
Yeah.
Of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know Gerard in a post-match interview. That's I'm getting like,
What's your favourite cheese?
you get that- you get like-
cheese.
like, do you know what I mean? That's the noise I'm getting.
Yeah, it does. It hits you
And
back
then
of the
you
throat,
get-
doesn't it?
The back of the throat's the course.
Is
You're
that
right, Pat. You're right.
is that because you like it?
That's lovely.
No, it's new money, filth, I think.
It's absolutely delicious. Thank
The
you.
Scouse bloke who's won the lottery and got a big TV. That's what I taste.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's
So then it-
sherbety, right?
Yes, it is sherbety, and
Yeah.
it's a really and the best place to get good value sparkling wine now is in France, in all these pockets that aren't Champagne.
because
generally
it
called-
doesn't have the branding associated
Yeah,
to
and
it.
Champagne's just got the most fantastic branding. So Champagne's where sparkling wine became really good. It became the clear. They worked out how to get the yeast out, which is called disgorging,
Yeah.
and gives us a clear, fizzy
Disgorging?
sparkling wine. It's called
So
disgorging.
that's what my wife needs. She needs to be disgorged.
know what? I think a couple of glasses have slowed you because that was there. I've never seen you leave my wife joke that long.
No.
There was a slight lag on that, which I've never seen.
Yeah.
You're like, my wife.
I'll tune back in a second. No, she needs to be thoroughly disgorged, wrung like a flannel to get all the yeast bubbles out. But Champagne as a region is it's just north of Paris,
Yes.
right? And so this is where they is that where the sparkling wine starts?
That's where they master sparkling.
They
No, it
master it.
starts in Limoux,
Sorry,
down in
yeah,
the
cool.
south.
You've
So
said that
right
already,
down
sorry.
in the south.
Yeah.
And then
if Paris is a toilet, Limou's a urinal.
And then Dom Perignon
It's a
takes it.
system.
Dom Perignon takes it to Champagne and starts doing it in the abbey.
And he's a monk, and he does it in the abbey.
Yeah, he does it in the abbey.
And so how is it just marketing? Is it all Moet's marketing that's meant that Dom Perignon is now... How much does a bottle of Dom Perignon go for? Like
170 quid, something
crazy.
like
And that's a load of bollocks, right?
It's all
that.
bollocks.
It's actually really good.
No, I'm sure it's really good.
But it's not worth
you can
100.
Should be
get-
170 quid.
Yeah.
But there's equally as good things for much cheaper, right?
This is so good, isn't it?
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
How much? For a day's work in the abbey?
35?
Yeah, it's 14 quid.
14
Really?
quid.
Not bad.
So, but Champagne's just become this incredible, like nowhere else in the world, marketing machine.
Yeah.
And it's now controlled by LVMH.
Which own they're the big
Is that
boys,
like
right?
Diageo? Is that similar?
Louis Vuitton,
that's a-
Moet Hennessy.
Yeah.
Parent company that own all the brands.
Is
that
it
we know.
on? Yeah, it's one of the richest guys in the world.
So they do 2/3 of the whole of the volume of champagne.
Right.
And Champagne produce 300 million bottles a year.
Yeah.
The English produce like 12 million.
He's worth 139
Arnault.
billion
He's got
US
a couple of
dollars.
quid.
Bernard Arnault.
I think he was the richest man in the world for a little bit.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. He loves champagne.
And he's got 5 kids.
he's not
It's going to be
spent-
like a real life succession when he dies.
He's not spent any of that money on eyebrow trimming.
It's a sign of wealth. In
Yeah,
France.
of course it is. Yeah. He's got lice in his eyebrows.
Yeah.
So Dom Perignon, it's all marketing, and
But it's
then
also all to do with Christianity.
go on.
So it's all being done in monks by monks in monasteries. So they're the ones who are making the wine for
Sacrament.
sacrament. But they completely see it as vital to their diet,
Yeah,
whether it's red, fizzy, white, or whatever.
because it's
they need
safer.
alcohol.
It's safer than water,
Yeah,
and it's
they need
religious. Yeah.
So wherever they go, they make wine.
So you think
And
that
they
the
just
link between wine and Christianity is
completely
they're completely
intertwined.
linked.
Because I guess if Christianity hadn't made wine slightly less kind of like women orgies in the forest eating goats,
More
It would all-
formalized, more elitist, more
exactly, it would always have been a
focused.
fringe
Yeah.
mad thing.
Yeah, well, because when they were doing it, it was buckfast under a bridge, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
When it's now becoming more formalized, more holy, more sacred.
it's what wine can we
divine,
pair
basically.
with this burning tire?
Yeah, yeah.
So let's return to the Americas, because around the 20th century, as you say, wine starts to get good in a way that we'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
And in America, in 1920, we're going to do a whole series on Prohibition. I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
But the Volstead Act, the 18th Amendment, they destroy the burgeoning wine culture that has happened in America.
Right.
So as you say, it starts in Mexico, it starts to spread up to California. I think that it's not good at this point, but it's definitely it's the best climate in America for growing wine is Californian wine.
Yeah.
And then I think something like over the course of Prohibition, which is 20 to 33, the vineyards in America go from maybe the 700 vineyards, it goes to less than 100 in the space of 13 years, because the amendment allows for sacrament wine. You can still produce wine if it's for churches, and you can brew wine for home use.
Yes.
But you can't
What, like
distribute
cleaning
it.
your toilet out?
Yes, if you were doing like a French themed night. So it destroys the Californian wine industry.
Yeah.
And what's also fascinating is that if you've listened to this podcast long since the beginning, you'll know that obviously we talked about Cromwell and the whole east coast of the New World of America in the 17th century as
being
very Protestant, very Puritan.
Yeah.
Prohibition is essentially it's the meeting point. It's the conflict between that Protestant Puritan legacy and all these Italians and Spaniards and Greeks and Germans that have all come in from the 1850s onwards.
Trying to turn America into a big party.
Trying to turn it into a big toilet. And so the Germans spy an opportunity. So 1848 is a huge year of flux in Europe, year of revolutions.
Yes.
The Germans all flee, and they see that the climate in the Midwest of America would be great for Pilsner. So they all start making Pilsner.
Because and that's a form of lager, or is it lager?
It's, lager is German for beer.
Cave. But yeah,
For cave.
Because lagering is when you store beers in cool caves, and it was like the beginning of those sort of cold beers.
Pilsner, so Americans don't have they don't have lager at this point. So the Germans introduced lager to America,
right?
And then the Italians bring their sleepy wine culture with them to the American, and obviously the Jews come in and they've got a massive Abrahamic tradition of wine, and whining.
Oh shucks.
Yeah. So they bring all that all that stuff there. And so actually a lot of the prohibition is wrapped up in an anti-immigrant sentiment. It's the puritanical elements on the East Coast.
We were here first.
Yeah. Stop doing that. Yeah. That's not naughty. Don't drink wine.
Yes.
And so it's wrapped up in anti-immigrant.
Because it was our most boring cunts we sent out there.
Yeah, America is founded by boring cunts, and then it's made
our most boring.
Those are
and
our
we're
boys.
already boring.
Yeah. They might be boring cunts, but there are boring cunts.
They were people who left here because it was too much fun.
Yeah.
At the most boring time
it's ever been.
But meanwhile, are all the guys on the East Coast, on the West Coast, just getting hosed and having a really great time?
Well, the West Coast, because it's the...
Because they're all the Spanish who've gone over there.
Yeah, they've come up through Mexico, and then it's slowly pushed further west.
Yeah, there's the American-Mexican War and all that expansion. But by the 1920s, that's started. That's set, as it were. It's also massively wrapped up in women's rights, in that women at this point don't have any rights at all.
And this is when white wine comes in, right?
Yes, the white wine starts.
The white whining, I think.
White women whining starts about here. No, because in 1920s America, if you're a woman, you have no legal rights. So if your husband is drunk a lot of the time to get through the industrial hellhole that is his life. So, domestic abuse, if a husband hits his wife, he might as well legally have hit his fridge. It doesn't mean anything in the law.
Sure.
Right. So the law are like, well, who cares?
Yeah.
It's his fridge. He can do what he wants to.
Yeah.
Right.
Go on.
So women form the bulk of the temperance movement, which is the thing driving prohibition.
Stop fucking smacking me about.
So prohibition is wives stopping the boys from having fun. It's women saying stop drinking. So
it was interesting. We built up a lot of information, and I like how you condensed it.
It is wives stopping the boys from having fun, right? So in 1920, like a bunch of states have already been doing it, but it becomes a federal thing, and it has the opposite effect on booze, in that booze just fucking goes through the roof.
Yeah,
and
black market,
speakeasies, the jazz boom, organised crime, all this stuff kicks in.
It becomes more fun? Is that why it's more dangerous? It's more of a culture has to form?
But there's a whole, the whole American story is of like economic entrepreneurship, right? So then people just go, well, people want this, so let's just keep it up. So, but anyway, it's all distilled.
It's unregulated, basically.
It's all whiskey and gin and moonshine. So wine essentially is destroyed in America, having been burgeoning and doing quite well. So 33, they realised, this is actually all fucked. We should probably let people drink. Because Hitler comes to power and they go, fuck it.
We need a drink.
We're in the 30s.
I want to drink.
If we ever are in the 30s entering the world, Finn's checking in on Hitler from above.
He's the greatest man that's ever lived. I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
So 33, Prohibition ends. Hitler comes to power. That can't be a coincidence.
Right.
People are going, fucking hell. I want to see what this guy. I want to have a drink with this guy.
Yeah. What I like about Hitler is you can have a beer with him.
Yeah.
That's what I like about him.
You can't say the same of Lenin or Stalin or Mao.
You can have a beer with him.
No one's saying, you know what I like about Mao? I can have a Chinese rice wine with him. And have a pint of rice wine and really get into the stats of how his agricultural policy caused millions of deaths. So Prohibition kills the wine industry.
Yeah.
And then in 33, it's whatever, reneged, or what's the word?
Reneged.
Revoked. And wine starts to, having been decimated, it starts to be built back again. And we need to get to, probably the defining moment of this story. That there's a lovely little bow tie that ties up this story, which is American wine, having been decimated, starts to get so good that what would you say, Tom, by the 60s, Californian wine is good again?
Really, really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
And so why, do you know anything about that sort of re-emergence of Californian wine after Prohibition?
Well, there's a lot of immigration. There's a lot of Italian immigration into California. There's a lot of European influence going into bringing all sorts of vines there.
And this is the Northern California is the That's the wine growing country.
Napa,
right? Napa
really
Valley.
centered around Napa. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we get to this point in 1976
Oh yes.
called the Judgement of Paris.
Yes.
Now, do you want to tell us about this?
So this is a tasting organised by a great man who's
Stephen
no
Spurrier.
longer with us, sadly, Stephen Spurrier, who organised a tasting of the greatest wines of America versus the greatest wines of France.
It's like a World Cup of
So
wine.
it feels,
Absolutely.
because it's a British wine merchant, it feels like the Brits' role in wine is it's not to make it or even to, it's more to critique it and drink it.
We're almost the gatekeepers of wine.
Yeah,
We're
we
just
are.
we're the critics. We're the critical
Yeah.
culture. We're not
So-
doing it. We're just sitting saying, not very good, that's good, and getting pissed on it.
Honestly, I joke about and say like
Yeah.
the French don't know how to taste wine. We are much better tasters and evaluators of wine. than the
Right.
French.
Fascinating.
They just make the stuff.
That's
And-
brilliant. That's great. I love that.
I love that they make it. They just make
They
it.
just
like
make
it's a
it.
factory.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
understand it.
I
They
love
just-
that. I've learned so much this episode, and it all completely fits in with my existing prejudice.
Yeah,
I love
that's
it.
perfect.
It's
Yeah.
perfect. You can
So-
come in any time, Tom.
So Stephen
It's great to
Spurrier,
cross the divide.
It is great to get other opinions that perfectly match mine.
so Stephen Spurrier organises this big tasting
Yeah.
of the greatest wines. America versus
Right.
versus France. You've got like the most
the
expensive
Ameri- it's the
wines of
All-Stars.
Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But the beauty about it is that, and there's a group of sommeliers judging the wines,
Yeah.
quite a few of which are French,
Right.
not knowing
Got
what they're
double gay.
Well,
Imagine that.
they're smellier.
That's
That's where the word comes from, I believe.
And, and it's all blind.
Who is the sommelier?
No,
person here?
than me? He
better
not be smellier than
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And anyway, long story short, the US wins. They
Who's
win.
testing this?
The sommeliers,
All the French
yeah,
sommeliers.
they're all blind. They're blind tasting, marking each of
Right,
these
yeah.
wines.
Yeah.
So it's French and Californian Chardonnays and French and Californian Cab
Cabernets.
Sauv.
What's the
And-
fallout from this?
Well, everyone assumes that France, as the
Yeah.
know, with wine so central to its culture and its
Yeah.
idea of itself on the world stage, would walk it.
Yeah.
But now, is it like a unanimous decision?
It's the number of votes.
So
So the winners, France
both-
wins both. US wins both.
Yeah, Napa
categories,
Valley,
Wow.
Stag's Leap,
There
and
we go.
Chateau Montelena,
which are amazing wines.
Yeah.
I mean, like amazing.
But I've heard that like this was so devastating to the French
Yes.
mind
Yes.
that the press wouldn't report it.
yes,
Because they was like, well, this is bollocks.
Yeah.
Right.
Of
Like,
course
what,
it's bollocks.
what happens if we print this?
Yeah.
Like, who are we?
Yeah.
Do we even smell? Like what who are we as a country?
There are maybe stinkier men out there.
This is
than us.
impossible. No one can smell as bad as us. And this kind of is this when
And
you
this
say
the new world can now race ahead.
Yeah, this
because
is
it destroys the
1976,
myth.
where the greatest palates in the world are saying,
Is Hungary beating England 6-3 in football?
yeah
Right.
yeah in the 50s
It's
yeah.
Australia beating England in the Ashes.
This is is this when the marketing bullshit of the French wine industry
But
is
it
sort
hasn't-
of
No, but it hasn't.
Oh,
though.
no,
No,
the
it hasn't.
The
marketing.
thing is, it still maintains so strongly.
Yes.
We all know this, but it's still product of France. Great. It feels good
safe.
to
I
drink.
do feel safe drinking
Yeah.
French wine
Yeah.
in a way that I don't
I feel held.
Mexican. I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
but the French are masters of marketing. They've
Yeah.
they,
That's what I
they
mean.
do it. They've nailed it. And champagne better than anywhere
Yeah.
in the world.
So Tom,
Yeah.
when does to talk about the history of wine from
Yeah.
76 onwards? It's become much more open.
Yeah.
Palates are much more welcoming. People
Yeah.
are much more open to the idea of like, fuck it, Bolivian wine. Why not?
Go for it.
Georgian wine, still no, even though it's the oldest
It's
one.
the oldest
Yeah.
one.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
It sounds like petrol.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Soviet era basically buggered all wine production because it essentially tries to make fortified wine, I think, out of Georgian wine, which killed it. What is the deal, we were saying in the last episode, with natural wine and all that shit?
It started in Georgia, and it's all shit.
Wait. So do you think natural wine shit?
I think
Because we all
many
both
natural
think
wines
it's
are
absolute
shit.
dog shit. And
Yeah.
I think that, what do you think of the natural wine trend? I think it's a load of bollocks. And I think in 15 years, we'll stop it and look back saying, what the fuck were we doing? The amount of complexities in shit flavors, I think it's the only thing that has that much focus on making shit quality stuff. The history and tapestries of shit flavors that they make is extraordinary.
I think the thing is, if you sat someone down, an expert on natural wine, and said, "What is natural wine?" they wouldn't really be able to answer. They would just say minimal intervention.
But every time I taste a natural wine, it has a distinct flavour. I could tell you natural
It's a bit
wine.
like
It smells
it's a
like a
bit like,
horse's bum.
Yeah, it tastes like dirt. It's got like a shittiness to it.
minimal intervention.
Yeah.
So it's like Syria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just devastated.
But having minimal intervention on wiping your ass means you got a shitty ass.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
let's bottle that.
Well, they do actually. Yeah, that's natural wine.
I actually got a very natural asshole, as in I haven't wiped it for 2 years.
Yeah, it's like that perpetual stew you were talking about. It's just there's just a build up of flavour. And so now when I do a poo, it doesn't smell because I always smell.
Because it could be anything
Could
at
be
this
anything.
point.
Yeah.
Can I just take you back
Go
before
on.
natural wine?
Go on.
In the 70s and 80s, the only wines that we could get in this country really were French.
Right.
Because they didn't export any wines from California, or they
Yeah.
drank it all there. So we had all this French shit wine because they had the monopoly on what we'd be drinking. But it's only really throughout the 90s that we begin to get New Zealand wine, Australian wine, California wine.
And why,
Now,
why is
everything.
that? Like in terms of economic.
Because the Australians suddenly woke up and thought, we can actually make a wine that tastes nice
Yeah.
rather than the armpits.
Yeah.
Let's have a go at selling it.
Yeah.
And so they did that with
We don't need to drink this stuff to hit
Yeah.
our wives.
Yeah.
So why don't we make money off it while we drink Castlemaine
Yes.
and pound Sheila?
Yeah, as long as it's alcohol, it doesn't matter. I don't need this complex shit.
No,
I
no.
just need to be pissed.
I want a clean taste to refresh me after
Yeah.
I've tired myself out hitting my wife.
Yeah.
But it made the French wines better because suddenly they're on a shelf alongside these
And they have to
wines
compete.
that were clean.
Yeah.
So the main thing is the Australian wines and the New Zealand wines, they were clean in flavour. There was no armpit or arsehole or anything in them. Whereas
You don't get like little notes of arsehole.
Yeah, the French
Yeah.
all had notes of arsehole. And they
Should
thought,
we end on this wine as well?
This is a French wine without notes of arsehole.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Can you hold this, Horatio?
Of course, yeah. Have you seen the documentary Sour Grape?
Oh,
Yes.
it's a brilliant film.
It's fantastic,
If you've
isn't
not
it?
seen Sour Grapes, it's an amazing film about wine fraud in New York, I think.
I mean, it shows the whole thing up.
It
right?
does show the whole thing up. It's complete bullshit.
Sorry,
So
Tom.
everything Tom has been saying about how essentially, the myth of wine is it's a marketing success, really.
Yes.
And that if you're paying more than £20 for a bottle, it's because you have been tricked by a brand.
Well, I didn't say that. You said that.
Yes, but you
Yeah, he's got a
endorse
lot of
that. You
friends in the
endorse that.
industry.
You endorse that, and my words, your sentiment.
But it's basically about this rich Indonesian wine collector who basically becomes this big star in the wine world, selling shit wines but pretending they're great.
But he pretends to have this palate
Yeah.
that can distinguish a Margaux from a Lafite or whatever.
Yeah.
But he then brews them in his kitchen out of different bottles of wine, sort of blends wine. And so when the FBI uncover his kitchen, it's just this mad, garage full of vials and buckets and stuff. And there's an amazing scene, which is the scene where him and some other wine nonces are running around New York in a cab, trying out different wines in bars, and they're trying bullshit counterfeit wine that he's made, but they don't know it, and they're like going along with it. They're going, oh yeah, this is whatever. This is blah 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 blah. And he's just made the wine himself in his kitchen. It's an amazing film.
There is a lot of that in the wine trade.
Yeah.
So I've got you a nice wine.
So where's this from?
So this is from Burgundy.
Right.
And the beautiful thing about the French is they won't tell you anything about it at all.
Well, that does smell absolutely terrific.
Literally nothing.
I disagree. There's a definite hint of arsehole in here.
Yeah, but it doesn't tell
It's
you.
a good.
It doesn't say
arsehole.
anywhere on the
Says it's
back
stinky enough.
that
Yeah.
it smells of arseholes.
Oh, it's good though.
But
I think you want a little bit of arsehole in your wine.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So this is from Burgundy, which is basically completely made by monks, monasteries, and everything. It's all and their grape variety is Pinot Noir. So they worked out that the best grape variety to plant there was Pinot Noir, which makes a beautiful red wine that's really smooth. And this is from year 2050.
Oh, that's nice.
So
That's really
basically,
good.
the French learnt to make good wine from,
Fuck
The
yeah,
New
that's
World.
good. I really like that.
Yeah, that's very good.
and they still make the best wine in the world.
Burgundy, you think?
France do.
France.
That is nice.
But it's because, to wrap this up, because in many ways, my view of this has basically been like, this is a conversation Horatio's having with his dad, where his dad's actually interested in him. That's what this has been like. Horatio's like, Dad, and then the wine did this. And he's like, yeah, whatever. But to wrap this up, what we've learned in this episode is that France is essentially a wine factory for the English.
Yes. Yeah.
And that England are the rightful heirs to wine.
Yes.
We deserve it.
It's for us.
Yeah.
And everyone else is sort of beholden to our tastes, really.
Does that give you a different viewpoint than you
Totally.
had before? 100%.
I thought this story would be about how the French decide to gatekeep wine and how it's slowly becoming less pretentious with things like the Judgement of Paris bringing in the New World. But really you're saying that it was the English that made France that up its own arse about wine because we wanted to use France as a wine cellar.
But the French did gatekeep wine from the Nazis.
Right.
And that's what we're going to talk about on the Patreon.
Yes. Very nice.
What a sell that is.
Do you want to ask how much the wine was?
How much was this bottle of wine?
We need to guess.
I'd say 2015. I think that was a good year.
That must be 45 quid.
I'd
say Burgundy Pinot Noir 2015.
I'd say 30.
45 quid.
Fucking hell.
Your dad would bring this sort of stuff out, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he likes the more pretentious he'd go, but the more classic he'd go for. He thinks anything organic or anything like that is complete woke tosh.
I agree with him on that. So,
I mean, a great tip when you're traveling: don't go for local wine unless it's one of like 8 countries, basically.
Or you're carrying a lot of loo roll.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So listen, Tom, thanks so much for coming. Did you have anything you want to promote?
No,
great.
Nothing at all.
No. Well, follow you on Instagram.
I'm going to have a book out.
Oh, brilliant! That's something to promote.
Oh, I've got a book. Yeah, I keep forgetting that.
You must lose sight of your entitlement for 1 second when you're promoting things that you need to sell.
You must learn to flog. Yeah. It's a different world.
Yeah.
The chateau's gone.
Is that what the book's called? The chateau's gone.
Fuck. Mum, I shrunk the chateau.
Fuck, I've lost my chateau.
Mummy, I lost my chateau. Can I have a book deal? When's the book out and what's it called?
November. It's called Thirsty.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's one big thirst trap.
Yeah.
For a certain type of prison gentleman.
Yes.
For my dad.
For your dad. Yeah.
You're sending thirst traps for my dad every time on Instagram.
Oh, he'd love it. It's got all his wines in. All that kind of. It's all arseholes.
Yeah.
Brilliant. A History of Arsehole in a Glass by Tom Gilbey is out in November. Tom's going to stick around for our Patreon bonus episode where we're going to talk about wine in the Third Reich. Yes! And if you'd like to join the Patreon, you get a bonus episode every week for £3 a month, and you get access to all the series in one go. Thanks so much for coming in. This has been Thin vs. History. We will see you next week for where, if you thought this was a bit fruity, don't worry. Next week, we will be in the warm bath of World War II.
Brilliant.
I control that now. Tom, thanks for coming in. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Thank you.